Hey guys, Kid here of Burn 1. I'm bringing you a new deck tech, this time updated Madoka list since the new movie booster came out recently. Um, Before we get into the deck list, I gotta say, I've been working on this list for like the last, week or so. Uh, so I don't know if the number and ratio of cards and stuff is still gonna be the same, like a week or two from now. But right now, this is the version that I really like, and it feels like pretty solid. So let's just get into it here. We run two of the New World Madoka. It's a 4K beater if you have two or less stock. Um, Madoka before had a little trouble sometimes beating 4K like lone targets and stuff. So this kind of helps mitigate like people taking really big advantages at level 0. It's all right. It's been all right so far. I kind of like it too, and we just had it in here for more green since we need more green for later in for the level 3 game basically. So have those two, and then we have two of these new Sayakas. If you have 6 or more cards in your hand, and they gain 1500, so it's a 3500 beater, and then it has pay 1, draw 1, discard 1. Both effects are pretty good. Early game it's a beater, and then later in the game you can use this to pitch and fix your hand and stuff like that and pay out climaxes. This card's really good. I had it at 3 before, but now I'm down to 2. I don't know if I should bump it back up to 3 or not, because right now the level 0 game is fairly weak overall. I actually only have 4 like basically beater cards right now at level 0. But then again, the deck doesn't really try to win at 0 anyway, so I'm not exactly sure if the ratios of this is going to change or not. But it's really good. And then, of course, the card has Sayaka's name, since this is going to be a Sayaka-focused deck for the most part, because we want to abuse Sayaka's wish. More Sayaka targets, the better. Next, we have 2 Sayakas looking up to Mommy. This card's amazing. When it comes into play, top check. You can leave it there, put it on the bottom of your deck. And the secondary ability is when it attacks, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a magic character, add to hand, then discard a card. This gets you through your deck a lot sooner. You can top check for triggers. And whenever you top check a climax, you can always brainstorm and stuff and just get advantage that way. I love this card. I had it at 4 in the beginning, then it went down to 3, then now it's down to 2. I kind of want to bump it back up to at least 3. I might even try to figure out a way to put it back to 4. But right now it's at 2 because we had to make more room for the following next card. 3 of the Mommy Searchers. They're pay 1, ditch 1, search for a magic character, add it to hand. What's so good about this card is that it kind of fixed the deck's problems before, when it couldn't get 1/0 Sayakas or apples to hand early on, and this also helps you pay out climaxes and stuff early on, and this just sets up a lot of things, and it helps you look at your deck a lot because we run gold bar now, so being able to look at your deck a lot lets you know what you like blind stock and stuff like that. This is at 3 right now. It's probably gonna get cut down to 2 pretty fast, but right now I've been running at 3. I haven't used it a ton, but whenever I've used it, it's always like been great. So this might become another Sayaka looking up to Mommy. I'm not exactly sure yet, but right now it's at 3. Next, we run 2 of these new Homura Zeros. They're just like 2K, but when they come into play, you can pay 1, clock yourself, then pick a card in your clock, add it to hand, then clock yourself again, basically. Use this to like get anything we want out of our clock. It only really sucks when you're at like X6 because you end up leveling up and get nothing out of it. But this card, I usually try to take wishes out of the clock, or even apples or 1/0 Sayakas and stuff like that. And sometimes I've used it to color fix, but it's never really been like an issue for color fixing in this deck, since the deck is basically only 2 colors. This card's really good, but not like good enough to run more than 2. So right now it's just sitting at 2. But I really like it. It gives you a great advantage early on, so you can like flood the field too at level 0. Of course, our main game is still the Bonder. Apple's Kyoko basically. It gives 1K to the Vanilla Sayaka. What can I say? We're running at 4 because this advantage engine is so good, and it keeps bringing us back Sayakas, which we want for wishes. Down to our Brainstormers, we have 2 first set Brainstormers. This is like the only Brainstormer that's going to get us cards, really, so we're still running it, of course. And then one of the Spoutable Brainstorm, where we can, for every climax we hit, search for a magic card to add to hand and discard a card, and it's spammable, so it's great for thinning out the deck, or whenever you're screwed, you need to just like get through the entire deck. And of course, it has Sayaka in the name, so. On to level 1. Still, of course, running the 1-0 vanilla Sayaka. Need to run it because of apples, and it's usually like 6,500 to 7,500 all the time, so it's really annoying still, especially for a costless character that we don't care about it dying because we like to recycle it a lot. So still amazing card, and it has Sayaka in the name, of course. Next, 2 of these 1-0 6Ks with shift. Basically, they're 4,500 power, or 4,000 power, but for every other magic character on the field, it gains 500 power, and then it has shift. The shift is sometimes really, really good, but sometimes I really wish this had just 500 more power. But this card is really good to run with the deck, since our back row usually does no buffing at all. So this is usually just a 1-0-6K, and it is like, it goes with our game very well for the most part. Most of the time you end up leveling up one of these too when you need blue. I kind of like this card a lot, but I don't know if I want to push it up to 3. I used to have it at 3, but I moved it down to 2, but I might move it to 3 again. I'm on the fence about it. Probably not though. Next is it's a 1/6K with Clock Encore, but has another ability where you can discard climax from your hand, and then it gains 1,000 power for the turn, and if it reverses the battle opponent, you can draw 1. This card's been pretty clutch sometimes, but at the same time it's just been a very, very dead card. I can't really decide how much I like this card, but there are times where I like discard 3 climaxes with this effect right before refresh, and then reverse something and draw 3. It's been like, in those situations it's been super amazing, but every other situation it's been like, this card is useless. So right now I'm like struggling whether I should cut this card completely or not, but right now I like it at 1. And then we run a 1-0 counter just because, to keep your opponent honest for the most part. Whenever you have like 1-0-7-5 Sayaka, counter and all that jazz. Also, very important, has Sayaka in the name. That's why I choose this vanilla counter over all the others. On to level 2, we still run the free refresh Homura. We only run it at 1 really. Any more than that, like at most I would see this running at 2, but right now I have it at 1 since space is kind of tight, and it's kind of like a oops I got it card more than like I need this for the game, for my game plan. So it's been okay at 1, and we have all those searchers and stuff anyway. Next we have a 2/1 level support, so it gives power times 500 of the level in front of this, but it also has pay to tap, search for a magic character added to hand. The secondary ability of the searching for magic character has come in handy sometimes, but basically we're only running this level support because it has Sayaka in the name. So as long as we have this card on the field, our opponent always has to second guess whether or not we're gonna wish it away or not. Next, we run a 1-of the 2/1 Kyoko counter. It's the kill a higher level counter, but it's like the better version because we get to kill one of our own characters, so we totally get a dodge, reverse effects, and things like that, and like things like Marika, which we want to avoid completely. So it's a 1-of because for the most part we have so much Sayaka we can just like wish things away too. But this card's been great. It's won me so many matches just because I can kill off my level 3 game sometimes, since we're not running all Sayakas at level 3. And of course, because we're playing Sayaka, we're here trying to abuse this Sayaka's Wish. So we run it at 4, obviously, because we want to draw it as much as possible and use it as much as possible. What's great about the deck right now is that, unlike a lot of other decks, we're trying to force our opponent to always be ahead in we're always trying to be ahead in damage. And so by using this a lot, especially at level 2, even if you're picking up bad cards, it like slows down your I'm not exactly sure how I should word this, but basically you're just staying at level 2 longer than you should normally because of how the meta is right now. There's so much anti-heal, and this gets around anti-heal. So you usually push your opponent into level 3 first, and most of the time they can't really kill you unless like they have a Marika and they double stand it or restand it and like burn you twice and stuff like that, or if their level 3 game is really, really crazy. Otherwise, usually you get hit into like 3/3 or something and you live because you've healed like 2 to 4 times at level 2 already. And also during level 3, you can kill off your level 3 Sayakas and things like that and just come back. on to level 3. We run 3 of the old Sayaka level 3. Really good card and really mediocre card at the same time nowadays, just because of anti-heal. But it gets really big without having a real support, so it's at least a 3/2 12k that heals also. And of course it has Sayaka in the name, so again, another way to abuse Sayaka's Wish, like everyone should know at this point. So that's why we still even keep it, just because it works very well with the cards already in the deck, and we don't have to like do anything special with it. And you know, having a couple extra heals at the end is like still pretty important. And of course, since we can Sayaka's Wish it away, if like people try to do some kind of shenanigans of sending it to clock and things like that, we can just like get rid of it whenever we want. Honestly, at 3 right now, I don't know if 3 is the right number. 2 actually might be the right number for this, but right now I'm still having it at 3 just because it has Sayaka in the name for the most part. Finally, we get to the new Homura Clock Kick. It combos with Gold Bar. So when this card comes into play or through change, you can draw 2, discard 1, and the next effect is when it comes into play from hand, you have to rest a character. The final effect is climax combo with Gold Bar. When you play the Gold Bar, it gains 2,000. Wait, is it on play or on attack? When this card attacks and the climax is in the Gold Bar is in the climax zone, it gains 2,000 power for the turn, and then the effect, if you reverse your battle opponent, you can send it to clock. This helps the end game out a lot, especially since it's on play, draw 2, discard 1. It helps you dig for the climax, dig for more level 3s. Also helps you dig for Sayaka's Wish if you're looking for more of them to play. And then also it just kills your opponent, and you don't really need any kind of real back row support to buff this card, because it's inherently 13k with the climax combo. So sometimes it's really tough for your opponent to play around, even though 13k doesn't seem like a lot. Nowadays, like, you can reverse a lot of things, and because you're playing the vanilla Sayaka game, your field is usually not that huge all the time, so a lot of things die, and then your opponent can't kill off their level 0s, or what, not level 0s, but you know, they're weaker characters or whatever for the most part. So you get a lot of mileage out of this card, definitely. That's why we run it at 4. Originally I had it at 3, but like I had to push it to 4 because it's just too good whenever I'm like Homura, draw 2, ditch 1, draw another Homura, play the Homura, and so forth. Also, because the rest ability is like supposed to stop you from being able to play more than 2 a turn, you don't really care about killing off your back row at level 3, because usually your back row is like the Kyoko Bonder, because of your level 1 game, so you can just like play over it whenever you want, and you can usually replace it with some kind of level 0 Sayaka or some kind of Sayaka card, so it's like causes your opponent, if they're paying attention or like really good, to like sometimes misplay because they're overthinking the situation. Everyone is scared of that Sayaka's Wish. And finally, we play 2 more Clock Kickers, the PR ones. I run the one from the tournament promo because I like this art better than the booster one. But yeah, it's still a type of character, give it 1,500. Then whenever you play this card, if it reverses the battle opponent, you can pay 1 to send it to clock. This is a really good card still, especially since you can easily play over the apples and stuff when you play play 2 of these, then play this, then play over something in the background, then tap for power on this. But most of the time, you're just trying to kill something that's like really easy to target with this, since you use the new level 3 to kill bigger things. Finally, 4 Gold Bar because we run the Climax combo, and Gold Bar is amazing. Just lets you slam a Climax every turn, basically. We're running 3 books right now, just because we like to draw more into the Wish, as always, and every other Climax right now has been pretty whatever. I don't really like 2k1 that much because it doesn't help you punish your opponent that much, and then also sometimes we still want to side with our 1/0 Sayakas, so this helps a lot. And then we run a 1 of the Blue Gate just because it helps us get Gold Bars back, and the art is amazing, basically. Besides that, there's been no real reason to I've been running this card. I guess more advantage a little bit. I had this at 4, my first version, and it was horrible running this at 4, because Gold Bar plus this is like a nightmare for your hand sometimes when you're trying to abuse both of them. But besides that, the deck's been doing very well lately. I've won a couple tournaments with it and like placed second a few times. I have some casual matches up, not necessarily with this version, the version before this one that had no searchers in it. It's really good. I don't think this set like pushed Madoka into like broken range, but it did help it out a lot, especially this Sayaka version, or yeah, basically the Sayaka version of the deck. So I've been loving it and playing it a bunch this last week or so. That should be it for the deck. If you guys enjoyed the video and want to see more content like this, make sure to subscribe, comment, like, and all that stuff. Otherwise, shout outs to Triple Crown for sponsoring me and like making every tournament I go to a blast. Just being able to like go out there and not have to worry about like expenses or anything has been great. And then I guess shout out to everyone at SNK also, the store I do run with my friend June. Besides that, that's it, guys. I'll see you later in the next video. And also watch out for, I think we're getting more tournament videos up soon. Right now it's mostly casual, but we're starting to record local tournament stuff with a lot of high level players in our area. So watch out for that too. Later.